Welcome to the Daily Devo. Today we're talking about being yoked. We're talking about one of the most popular Bible verses used to talk about dating. But guess what? It does not just apply to dating, it applies to every relationship. Our verse for today is 2 Corinthians 6:14. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness? Paul is talking to the Corinthians about partnership. This is not about a boss and employee relationship. This is a people that you partner with in different types of relationship. This is your inner circle, people who speak into your life. Who are you sharing your heart over coffee with? Who you're sharing good and hard news with? So how do we win in being equally yoked? First off, back it up. What does being yoked equally mean? This is a metaphor that made a lot of sense to Paul's original audience. A yoke is a wooden beam, sometimes used between a pair of oxen or other animals, to enable them to pull a heavy load when working in pairs. When the oxen have a yoke on them that weighs a different amount, it would pull the oxen in the direction of the heavier weight. So if the right one was lighter, it would follow the other. In modern terms, if you're not a farmer like me, it's more like the classic bit of slapstick humor when two people in a show, let's say Nick and Winston from New Girl, are tied together or handcuffed together, and then they try to run in opposite directions. They can't. They fall. They fail. And it's hilarious. I've had friendships and coworkers before who were not believers, and I noticed it was hard spending significant amounts of time sharing my heart, life, dreams, pains, and plans, but not hearing a biblical perspective in return. Over time, I learned to not take their advice, but I eventually stopped sharing what was really important, and eventually the friendships dissipated. Now, this doesn't mean we don't have friendships with people who don't know Jesus, because frankly, how will they know? But our inner circle should hold people who are on the same step as us. My husband's professor shared another way of looking at this verse. If you and someone else are standing on two different steps on a staircase, is it easier to pull someone down or is it easier to pull someone up? Pulling someone down is way easier. You have gravity to help you. And even more so, is there more danger in pulling someone up or pulling them down? When we're letting people speak into our heart and our mind, we really don't win if they don't know who made our heart and our mind. If you're dating someone who is not on the same step as you, can you please pray about it and take it to the Lord? A dear friend of mine growing up had parents on different steps, and can I tell you the pain that caused their family for years? If your closest friends do not know Jesus, can I encourage you to go to church and commit to finding community and actually building it? My friend Jeremy always says, community is actually not found. We think it is, but it's actually built. If you're in a marriage where you and your spouse are not on the same step, take heart and keep praying for God to become real in their life and keep modeling to your spouse who Jesus is. Show them Jesus. Don't just tell them. Lastly, remember, we need to love people, but loving God is easier when we are not fighting against the words, lifestyles, and actions of those closest to us who don't love Him too. I am rooting for you today and praying that God helps you in these areas. Thanks for joining us today on the Daily Devo.